All right, we've got Coach Cage, Gainesville football. Please, if you could introduce yourself and your program.
Absolutely. My name is Tre Cage. I'm the head coach here at Gainesville High School. With me today is our 4 captains that were just elected the other day by their peers. I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name's Channing Hyde.
My name's Evan George.
David Howe.
My name's Reed Hobbs.
All right, now, Coach, if you could just take us through what the last week has been like and any off-season activities you all had.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've, like many programs, we started up in January, right after the winter break. We've been lifting 3 days a week. This off-season with these guys, we were able to incorporate some yoga. So flexibility was key for our off-season, trying to get our bend, get that full range of motion for all our muscles. I think the kids, you have to ask them, but I feel like it was a real positive experience for them and something we're trying to keep going throughout the season this year as well, in season. Outside of that, this past week has been our 2 days. Most of our coaches on staff are non-teachers in the building, so we went later. So doors open typically around 3 o'clock, meetings from 4 to 5 to 6, then out on the field from 6 to 9, 9:30, depending on how things ran. So long days for us, but I think the kids really picked up a lot of things. The last part of before 2 days, our summer workouts, we started doing some installs, which transitioned over to our first week of 2 days. And I think the kids are doing a really good job of picking this up. Nuanced stuff that we put in on offense this year that are changes from last year's offense. Defense is the same. But overall, the kids have bought in, they're working really hard, and I'm pleased where we're at after today. Today culminated our end of 2 days. We had our black-red scrimmage. This morning early, kids reported at 7 a.m., on the field at 8, and we'll probably wrap up around noon. So it's been busy, but overall, we're healthy, and we're ready for the season.
Okay, and before we kick it over to the media, just wanted to give the players a chance to say anything they like, any upcoming season accomplishments you're looking forward to, any matchups. The floor is yours. Also, you don't have to say anything. I'm sure they'll get to you, All right. We'll go ahead and kick it over to the press and let them ask you a few questions.
How you doing, Coach and players? Dwight Vick, Victory Life Legacy Podcast. Coach, I had you last year in the other media day and your players, and we talked. One of the goals was kind of, you guys like finishing what you started. Gainesville football has been a program on the rise in regards to just every year you guys continue to produce a lot of talent and you get better and better. It's interesting the proximity with Patriot and you guys right there. A lot of your players, along with the Battlefield Wildcats, grew up together playing against each other. A lot of my friends, I find that like very interesting and weird because there's also a rivalry there with all 3 schools. Last year you had some dynamic players. I'm a big fan. I've gone on record and saying I thought Colton Kilmer was arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the state. I thought he was under-recruited, and I'm a big fan of him and his family. I also knew Colvin since he was 6 years old, track star, football player. He was small, but he really packed a big punch, was running hard. You had some good linemen, some other players, including the players you have here now today. With that being said, how do you really kick down that door to win that district title? Because it's between, again, Osborne suffered an unfortunate situation, but they got talent. Unity Reed's kind of in transition. The Cedar Run district is, to me, the better district in our county, but the region features 19 teams. So you can get to the Cedar Run, you got Colonial Forge and other teams waiting for you. Gainesville's been right there. How do you, as a leader in the face of this program, get your kids to kick down that door and get that district title?
Great question. First of all, I agree with you. Colton Kilmer, completely underrated, great player, should have been somewhere else. So we're on the same page there. As it relates to our situation here, it remains a lot where I grew up. So I went to Chantilly High School. When I was in high school, we went to the same middle schools with the kids that were going to Central, which was the new high school at the time. And also on the other side, you had kids going to Chantilly, but we're going with kids that went to Oakton High School. So I have a real similar background with our kids here, and I think it's a great cross-section of families in the community at Gainesville. You don't have to ask them, but like, you're exactly right, where I'd say the word rivalry, where past tense was more of a true hatred almost for somebody, right? Like you did not like those people, right? Right now, times have changed, but I think they've all grown up together. They're all friends. They're all going to stay friends. And when they get on the field, they're competitive and they want to beat each other, so they have bragging rights. So that aspect's the same. But I think where we are today, it makes sense for these kids to continue to be friends because they're training together off season, right? They're working, they're going out to their homecomings and proms and all that stuff. So it's to be expected. And we also understand that we're a new school, and the title or the nomenclature of the little brother is something that we've talked about here as a program. Is how do we get past that, right? And so what we're doing is we're doing things different today than we did yesterday, because if we want a different result, we can't do the same thing. So for us, I think off-season conditioning was something that was, and you asked them, was much more tougher than the past, right? We wanted to be physically ready to go through the 4 quarters and wear you down, and in the 4th quarter be in better shape so we can push that line of scrimmage and secure the game for us. The second thing is, I think for us, is belief, right? So we've gone 8-3 the last 2 years. Before that, at 4-6 in the first varsity season. We're at a place right now where these kids' expectations are, you're no longer the little brother, you're no longer the new school. We have a foundation in place that we have to build on top of it. So that starts from off-season weight room to off-season conditioning, and here in the preseason, it's holding them accountable to knowing what we want and their expectations. So I don't think you would ask one kid here that wouldn't understand what our goal is. And our goal right now, right, we can talk big picture stuff, but if we focus on the little things, the big things will take care of themselves. So that's what we're doing. We're going to focus on stepping right on our plays. We're going to read our keys. We're going to run to the ball. We're going to finish tackles. We're going to finish runs. We're going to read our coverage and make the open throw, open plays for us. So the little things and the details matter, and if we focus on that and going 1-0 every week, we'll get to where we want to go.
Absolutely. And I mentioned COVID and Colton. We had other teams up here. They had quarterback battles, left tackle battles, working on depth. I know it's only really the early stages of the first week, but in regards to those 2 guys I mentioned, have their replacements been identified?
We're working through that. I mean, it's always an open competition, so you might be a starter one week, but competition breeds greatness, so we'll continue to compete throughout the season. But right now, I tell you that we have people that are placed in spots. David right now is competing for our starting quarterback spot. Braden Hudgens, a senior behind him, is extremely capable and good as well, so we'll continue to let them battle. But right now, David has the edge over that, and as if you read the article recently inside Nova, you know, my expectations is something different than a lot of coaches would do. This is high school football. They should have fun. You know, Reed is, 6'5", 315 pounds. There's not Reeds everywhere in the world, right? So I'm used to coaching kids that are 185 pounds online. Stuff, there's nothing wrong with that, right? So we're going to try to maximize the most we have out of the talent we have. David here, I think, is one of the best safeties in our region, maybe in the state. He started with us the last 4 games last season, led our teams in interceptions, was first team all-district in just the 4 games he got to play. Had a pick 6 for 99 yards against UD Reed. When you have a talented kid like this, you need to have him on the field. So for us, right now, I've told him, we talked about it in the offseason, I said, hey, I have no problems you starting both ways for us. So a lot of people won't do that, and we'll see how the workload goes, how he can manage it, but that's the goal for David, and he has to prove me wrong otherwise.
No question.
Hi guys, I'm Monet Anderson. I cover high school football up and down the DMV. We told you we would get to you guys. We're not going to just let you sit there silent. What I want to know is the 4 of you guys were picked as leaders, and I know on my job I'm not picking anybody I don't think can lead me. What made your peers pick you? Now can you say, my guy right here on the end, can you speak to why my other guy on the end was picked as a leader?
Honestly, Channing has been a role model ever since I started football, since freshman year. He's been there. He's been coaching up the other teammates who didn't know anything. He never had a big ego. He was there for people who didn't have a lot. He's honestly been a great leader.
Can you return that?
Yeah, he started his freshman year. He's been amazing ever since. Reed's not a guy he's never in a conflict with another teammate. He's constantly working hard. He always has his head down. He's just not a guy who I could see anybody having a problem with. He's a great teammate. He's always there for us. He takes care of us. He loves his guys, and he plays hard for us. He plays his heart out.
Wow. My two guys on the inside, can you speak on one another?
When you think lead by example, he's the definition of it. When you go to the workouts in the off season, he'll come in, not say a word to anybody, but he'll just rep out 315 on bench like he just woke up every time. By far the strongest kid that we have on the team. Hardest worker, one of the hardest workers on the team. Yeah, he's a great teammate.
I would say the same about David, how he leads by example, but he also kind of like leads with his voice, like he's one of the guys who like get everyone in check when like people are not listening to coach and like things like that. So that's why I want these guys to lead for me.
And Coach, just kind of expounding on what the guys said, were you proud of each of these guys being chosen for those positions?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you think about, could it be a dictatorship? Absolutely. I could have picked 4 captains. But I think it's really important for our team to have their peers buy into what we're selling. And part of that is choosing your own leaders. And by having them choose their own leaders, you're looking at the qualities that you want to follow and that you've seen demonstrated through the off season with you in the weight room. Like, because those relationships aren't just plug and play. You have to form those and forge those through the off season. So each one of these guys showed up. Each one of these guys led by example. I'd be lying if I didn't say sometimes we had to kick them in the butt a few times. But outside of that, I'm very proud of it, and I would have picked the same 4.
Nikki Wolcott, Washington Post. Tre, I know you mentioned just this being kind of the first, I believe last year was the first 4-year, guys who played varsity for 4 years, obviously as a new school. These guys firsthand saw the program grow into even more than competitors, and for you on staff taking over as head coach this year, I'm sure you did as well. So I don't want to say it was a smooth transition, but from the outside looking in, it looked like it was, especially having these guys back as kind of a foundation for this year. Just what do you think you and these guys have learned over the last couple of years, and how do you hope to just take that into this year?
That's a great question, and there's a lot to that. I think for us, for me specifically, I was really fortunate to join Gainesville staff with Coach Bruton and have that 2 years overlap to kind of see what his philosophy was. And there was so much that we were aligned in, probably everything, that when he decided to step down and I had the opportunity to take over, I hope for the community and for these kids that have been here, it was really kind of in stride, we didn't miss a step type of thing. As it relates to the kids, this year 1 for all these guys was the JV only season, right? Or no, you're right, varsity only. I think that they've grown leaps and bounds, and it kind of goes back to the earlier question about how do we get over the hump, right? These kids have been through the beginning, and we're at a point now where it's not just me, but they have the expectations of further, more, and better. And we talk about legacy, right? You go into our gym right now, and our kids across every sport work hard, but you look up at the banners, there's not a whole lot that's up there right now. And what our goal is for them is win each game each week, but look only at that opponent. If they do that, I think what they can do is leave with a legacy of not just the foundation of hard work, but also with a banner or 2 up there.
And for the players, similar question. You guys, came into the program in its first or second varsity season, and have just seen you guys quickly become so competitive in the district and the region. Just what have you learned from these last couple of years that you kind of hope to take into this year? You've seen how good seasons go. You've also seen how seasons can end. Just what do you kind of hope to take from that into your senior seasons?
I'm going to say my freshman year, I got moved up to varsity, and I would say like someone I learned from a lot was Jack Smoot, because he was a lineman at my position. He kind of like taught me how to like lead other people and like kind of how to be a good leader. So I want to like kind of pay it forward like what he did for me to the younger class.
Shout out to Jack Smoot. He was a good player too. You know, it's funny you mentioned Coach DeBanners. My youngest daughter goes there. She's a sophomore at Gainesville. She's on the JV volleyball team, and you know, I know the baseball team just won states, beat Battlefield, and I'm in Gainesville gyms a lot, just because of my kids, and even when my son was at Patriot. So it's interesting because you guys, even though you're a newer school, a lot of your sports programs are doing well. I saw where last year Justin Powers, head basketball coach, beat Patriot for the first time in basketball, and you can see them kind of building something and going to the playoffs consistently. As I mentioned with football, this is a question to the players, and anyone can answer this, if not all four of y'all. And again, I know you don't put pressure on just one game because the goal is bigger than Patriot and Battlefield, but I was once a senior a long time ago. How would it feel to get that dub if you sweep both and then go into the playoffs and make a deep run into the regionals and beyond? How would that feel? Again, I don't want a hot take, but just honest answer regarding being part of legacy of what Coach talks about and getting maybe a district title on there while beating those two teams.
I think that's everybody's goal. Those are all of our goals here. I think it'd feel pretty good.
I think you're right, Reed.
You guys want to answer that? Y'all agree?
Yeah, it would be a great feeling, but that's kind of what we're just expecting. We just want to take it week by week. We don't really care who we're playing. We're going to play it the same. We're going to give 100% effort in practice, and we're just going to build on top of what we already have.
Yeah, and players or coach can answer this question. Every year, I know it's early in camp, but you know you have off-season workouts, 7-on-7. Is there a player, someone like me that's going to be at your games covering this and watching stuff, is there a player that we don't know about? I'm not looking for secrets because I know, Coach, everybody's listening and taking notes, but someone you like, hey, you guys are going to be surprised how good this kid is and this young man is going to be a baller. Somebody that just has really worked hard and making a name for themselves that we should keep an eye on.
I think you should keep an eye on Siler Pena, upcoming sophomore running back. He played a little bit his freshman year, I think racked at probably 600 yards. He is a baller. He's coming up big this year. He's got a great O-line ahead of him. He's very quick, twitchy, shifty. He hits the hole hard. He runs hard. He's a good player. Very well conditioned. He's just nonstop, has a high motor. I think he's a great player. I think he's one you should keep your eye on.
Yeah, I was also going to mention Silent Pena, but
I think you should keep your eye out for Brody Powers, upcoming sophomore. Me being, I play safety and quarterback, he's right there with me, but playing both positions, very athletic. Me and him are at both position groups both times, and great kid, fast, great mindset, very athletic kid.
And guys, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, no, tell us.
I was going to say our new center, Dylan Newen, he just transferred in this year. He's a great person. I mean, his plays, he can hit. He can really, his power is unreal.
And guys, just, I know we're getting to the end here. Personally, and you can just make it quick, before you can bring like the best of you to the team, you have to work on something about you in the off season. What was one thing that each of you worked on about you to bring to the team to make it better?
I spent a lot of time just studying our offense and defense, trying to get my football IQ up, because I want to be in a position where I know everybody's job's on the field, so I can make sure our team's on the same foot, either if it's going to a drive or a play. I want to be a guy that my teammates can turn to and know that I've got them.
for me, I would say it's conditioning because, like, if you can't make it through the game, like, you can't do anything on the sideline, so.
This offseason, I really focus on my speed. I got fast in the offseason. Yeah, speed kills. I would say my foot speed.
That's it.
All I gotta say.
Okay. So last question before we let you all go. Can you just give us a little bit about your experience here today? How's it been?
It's been great.
It's been great. It's been fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, very nice.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, very nice, yep. We appreciate you having us.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, everybody, there's the Gainesville Cardinals. Coach, players, thank you. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.